Hello there, and now that I know that this is working, let's talk about this battle. This team is a UU team based around Xcloud, with aid from Crobat and Heliolisk and Infernape to Volt Turn into it. Shuckle lays down Sticky Web and Stealth Rocks, allowing it to outspeed some pretty big offensive threats that aren't scarfed. And Mega Blastoise spins away rocks while keeping our Sticky Web up. So now, looking at his team, I see that it's a very offensive team. Has some bulk in the Porygon 2. The Darmanitan's probably scarfed because it's low tier UU. It'd be nice to get a speed drop potentially on the Mega Sceptile and on the Heracross. Definitely on the Darmanitan, and definitely on the Haxorus. The biggest pain is going to be the Porygon 2 because I need to knock off that Eviolite to really start damaging it. So let's get into this game and see how it goes down. Let me speed it up a little bit. Head down slow so I can capture that. He leads out with Darm. I kind of predict that. I lead out with Blastoise, figuring he'll either lead out with Darmanitan to U-turn, or he'll set up rocks. He goes into his Porygon 2. And Water Pulse hits him decently hard. He switches out in the confusion. He goes straight for the close combat. And I crit him with Water Pulse. Because of the special defense drop, I'm not sure if that matters. There's a lot of power on Mega Blastoise. Copying the Mega Launch doesn't really matter. And unfortunately, Porygon 2 lives that decently handily and gets off the paralysis. There I thought he might just switch, so I went for the Dark Pulse, figuring nothing really wanted to switch in on it. When I should have kept going for the Aura Spheres. Now, of course, he doesn't want to take another Aura Sphere. I have to keep going for it. Does 16% to that Crobat after Black Sludge, that's 91% left. Here he just sets up a nasty plot when I get off most of my damage with Water Pulse. I see that he doesn't have anything to set up rocks with, so I sack the Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise goes down. Crobat is still up. I send out Heliolisk. Heliolisk is starved, so it's just like, okay, I'll Volt Switch out. I could do that with impunity because Sceptile hasn't Mega Evolved yet, and I go straight to Shuckle, knowing that I want to get my Sticky Web up. He goes straight into becoming Mega Sceptile, gets up an SD. SD Mega Sceptile is always interesting. Gets up another SD, which I'm not too mad about. I have the bulk to take at least any one hit of what he's going to go for, plus 30, which guarantees that I have the bulk no matter what. So I go for the minor damage and knockoff. There I was thinking, maybe I should have gone for Stealth Rocks. That said, it's good that I went for the knockoff. The extra damage is always nice to have. There I couldn't risk it outspeeding anything. So I go into Heliolisk. I get off the Hyper Voice. Leaves it just barely alive, but the toxic damage takes it down. And I go into fastest thing left, Crobat. Now this Crobat is just going to Brave Bird. Brave Bird's going to take it down at that amount of HP. If only I had more HP left, it probably could have lived. Darmanitan's going to come out. And Darmanitan's decently bulky enough to live that from full. I'm pretty sure this is max attack, by the way. And it's going to Rock Slide takes it down, Exploud comes out. It's going to Rock Slide, Exploud's just going to Specs Boom Burst. Of course, that's going to blow it away. Haxorus is going to get its Speed Drop. I'm going to get off a free Specs Boom Burst. He's running a Focus Sash one, though, so he's able to get up a Dragon Dance, restore his speed stat, outspeed me next turn. On the bright side, that means to Infernape, no matter what, outspeeds. I went for Grass Knot mainly for the lowest plus perfectly accurate move, knocks him out. And that is a good game. I'll be back in a minute with another game. And I am back with this next game, another UU game, this time versus a Sun team. Personally, I like Sun teams. They were my thing back in Gen 5. That said, looking at this Sun team, what I can tell is the obvious Sunny Dayer is Volbeat with its Prankster. And the main thing is, Heliolisk is probably Solar Power, Spinner, and Stealth Rock Setter is going to be Claydol. That Darmanitan is going to be Scarfed. Victory Bell is going to be Chlorophyll. If he's playing well, it's going to be Life Orb and Special because Fire type Weather Ball is actually pretty good coming off Victory Bell. And that Arcanine, no, going into this, not really sure what to expect. So starting off the battle, I figure that I'm going to need, let's get this more into motion, I'm going to need Shuckle out, and I'm going to have to start setting up hazards, but first I want to knock off whatever that has. Luckily for me, he goes into the Volbeat. I knock off the Heat Rock, which means that there's no 5-turn Sunny Day. I'm running Dry Skin Helios because I'm not running any weather, so Water Immunity helps more. I try to Volt Switch out. I kind of forgot about the Claydol. That said, I'm going to get off a huge hit on the Claydol. Claydol gets off at Toxic. I'm fine with that because I can spin on anything. Instead, I just go for the Dark Pulse as the sunlight fades, and I get off most of the damage that I need to get off on this Victory Bell. I'm kind of disappointed because the Victory Bell isn't Life Orb special, it's a physical set. His Arcanine, I'll admit, I kind of screwed up a little bit with this Arcanine. I wasn't expecting the fully defensive Rocky Helmet. So I go into Mega Blastoise. I'm expecting that I can just Water Pulse this thing away. And Sunny Day. Luckily for me, I just figured I'd get rid of Stealth Rocks, which allowed me to scout the Sunny Day on that. It's going to go for the Flamethrower on Shuckle, which I don't really mind, because this is my chance to get up my Sticky Web. And now I'm going to see if he has the Rapid Spin. If he has the Rapid Spin, now is the time to use it. Instead, he just goes for the Stealth Rocks. I get out into my Exploud for free. This Exploud, as I mentioned earlier in the video, is Specs. So that Boom Burst is going to destroy it. His Spinner and Setter Upper is gone. So if I can get Mega Blastoise in one more time, I can just get rid of these rocks and not have to worry about them the rest of the game. He loses his Volbeat to set up his Sunny Day. I figure in this case, if it's not Scarfed, I will outspeed and kill. And, maybe he's not running Scarf. That was a bit naive of me. This Infernape is actually Mixed Special. It's a very interesting set I don't think you see very often. You probably should see it more. And I just go for the close combat, hoping it'll kill. Doesn't kill because only does about 30% at -1 to that Arcanine, and here we have to talk. Because this game is the game of ridiculousness, of ridiculous mechanics being shown off. You see, if you Rapid Spin, and Rapid Spinning kills you, you don't get rid of the entry hazards on your side of the field. I forgot about the Rocky Helmet, and I spun anyways. Instead of getting off the damage I should have tried to have been getting off. Could have tried to get off a Confusion with Water Pulse. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case, and rocks are still up on my field. That said, the Sunlight out phase, I can go into Heliolisk, and I can start hitting this on the special side. I go for Hyper Voice, and that's actually decently specially bulky. Talk about annoying. So now I have to switch out. I go into Shuckle as I realize, I think this is where I realize what I should have done to this thing before. And that is press Toxic. Let myself get some poison damage up on it. Let him kill me, kill me with Flamethrower, because I can't switch out now. Stealth Rocks will kill me. But now I have up my own rocks. his Leo is going to have a hard time switching out. And without his Sunny Day up, I can roost with little to no fear with my Crobat. And I can keep roosting. He can get off his Will-O-Wisp if he wants. That is fine by me because I'm just going to go first next turn, finish him off with Brave Bird. And he won't be able to get a Sunny Day up. Now he sends out his Heliolisk. That said, I do have Super Fang. Mostly because this is a team based around killing walls, but it's nice to get it down a little bit more. Now, just as the sun runs out, he's going to be sending in his Victory Bell. Unfortunately, I have a Scarfed Heliolisk in, and he has nothing left to outspeed it, especially with Sticky Web up. And for some reason, this is low enough on the ladder where the guy felt it necessary to say that he was, in fact, Scarfed, so the speed drop mattered. Even though that is the game mechanic of Sticky Web. Just going to throw that out there. It's the game mechanic of Sticky Web. The point was that it did, in fact, matter. It was a good game, though. Nice, fun game. I mean, granted, I know that's all trashy, low ladder UU stuff, but hey, sometimes trashy low ladder stuff is fun. Now, I'll be coming right back to you with some random battles. Well then, back with a Battle Factory battle. This was a tournament battle done in the writing room. It was the battle before semifinals. I unfortunately lost at semifinals, partially due to hacks, partially due to my own bad plays, and therefore didn't get to go to the finals, but this was probably my finest game of it all. So, this was also where I got the idea to use X-Blad from. Looking at his team, I see Bennett. Battle Factory is random battles, but every Pokemon is from the same tier. Looking at his team, I see Bennett. I know it's going to be Mega Bennett. Looking at my team, I wasn't entirely sure what to think. I like that I had Foresight, Toxic, Hitmontop. It gave me a few things so that I could handle that Bennett a little bit easier. I like the Life Orb X-Cloud because he had quite a few things that are weak to it. Both the Steel types are weak to Fire Blast. Scrappy meant I could smack Bennett with a Boom Burst, hopefully kill it before I got up a Destiny Bond. I could hit his Spiritomb with a Focus Blast, so on, so forth. And I have a good Trapper in Dugtrio. I have a decent Fairy type in Aromatisse. I have a good Dragon in Druddigon. Nice strong attacker. I have a good fast electric type in Jolteon. On his side, he has a good Mega Pokemon in Mega Bennett. Destiny Bond is going to be a pain. He has a good speedy electric type in Jolteon. He has two good bulky steel types, one of which, Escavalier, I feel is going to be a big threat. Just looking at his team and the fact that they'll just shred through Aromatisse. Spiritomb has the potential to be annoying, and so does Gastrodon. But getting into the battle, I just lead with X-Cloud. And he leads with Mega Bennett. I felt like he was going to either lead with Mega Bennett, Spiritomb, or Bronzong. He just gets off the T-Wave. I'm fine with that because Aromatisse has its greatest move of all, Heal Bell. He's just going to start spreading around the paralysis. Unfortunately, I get paralyzed there, so I can't go for the Toxic. He goes for the Destiny Bond, just trying to take me down. I amused going for the Rapid Spin kill with Foresight, but wasn't worth it. He gets off the board here with Scald. A little bit annoying that I have to take the extra damage. He throws out a Clear Smog. Not entirely sure why. I don't have any stats set up. Scald is basically what's going to do more unless I'm 4 times weak to poison. He's going to Scald on the Jolteon. That said, my Jolteon has HP Grass, so I'm about to get off a huge hit here. 72%. That Gastrodon's not going to be doing as much throughout this battle. I just have to keep putting pressure on. Unfortunately, Jolteon goes down. Other side, I just have to keep putting pressure on it, so I go out into X-Cloud, Bronzong comes out, and I Boom Burst. That does 38% resisted. That's a lot. Bronzong's pretty bulky, so I figure I'll go for Fire Blast. I get the crit. I'm not sure if that mattered. I'm not sure the EVs on these random spreads, so it's a bit hard to check. I put a lot of faith into this Focus Blast that it's going to hit, and it does, and he goes for the Calm Mind. Now, all I need to do is click Boom Burst, and he goes down. In that case, G King 000 should have gone for the damage. Unfortunately, Fire Blast misses here. And he does make the good play. He goes for the Mega Horn. Personally, if I was him, I would have gone into Jolteon. I can understand why he didn't. He was probably not wanting Dugtrio to come out afterwards and trap it. So, it's not a bad play. Possibly contestable. Druddigon comes out. Fire punches the Escavalier, revenges it. Jolteon comes out and goes for the Signal Beam. Just trying to get out that neutral damage. Hitmontop can take it, though. Just as Hitmontop can also take the Life Orb Thunderbolt. And through cruelty, just pure cruelty, I get paralyzed. Which means that he can take me out next turn with Thunderbolt. Instead, I switch out. I want to keep it around. And he has the HP Grass, too. Or the HP Grass. I'm presuming it's HP Grass because I had HP Grass. And suddenly, this game looks a little bit different. He gets off 50% of the Aromatisse. He gets Paralysis. But I get my Bloom Blast off. I get my special attack drop off, and a lot of this is going to end up coming down to Druddigon. If that is not HP Ice and Druddigon can take down Jolteon, I will be set. Luckily for me in this commentary, I forgot that I had Sucker Punch. So I'm able to cut his comeback short, Sucker Punch the Jolteon, and Dragon Claw the Gastrodon down to my own victory. It was a good game. I apologize that I couldn't get to the finals. As I said, my next match was a bit haxy, and it was a bit with me with bad plays. What you gonna do? Either way, this match, I thought it was fun. I thought I'd share it with you. Next up, I'm bringing you a random battle. You're looking at this blank screen now because random battles have no battle preview. So let's just get into it. I rolled a really shitty team this time around. That said, I got lucky because I can get Stealth Rocks up. And I'm figuring, okay, we'll probably just trade Stealth Rocks. We'll probably spin at some point, and then I realized Forage just doesn't have Rapid Spin. And looking at this, I'm just like, okay, I'll get up Spikes, because he hasn't shown Rapid Spin yet. Maybe he's just trying to kill Forages. At this point, I wasn't really looking at my team. It's just like, yeah, I'll be able to put on more pressure consistently. It was like the best pressure I can put on in Sylveon. Sylveon Hyper Voices, and if that Donphed had Rapid Spin, we didn't get to see it. Now he goes into his Probopass, which is the bane of my existence. I Shadow Ball it for some nice neutral damage. I realize Sylveon's not going to be able to beat this thing. Closest thing I have to something that can beat this thing is Flareon. Guts Flareon. This thing's got power. Unfortunately, he has Seismitoad, which can eat up this Flare Blitz, and then just end up being faster than me next turn, kill me with the Scald. And there goes my main answer to Probopass. The Sludge Wave comes out on Tropius. No matter, Tropius is bulky. What does matter is that he gets the Toxic off. Seismitoad always scares me with how surprisingly fast it is. All these things I think are faster than Seismitoad that aren't actually faster than Seismitoad. Sends out a Spinda. I'm half expecting a superpower, so I decide, look, I'll get up a Leech Seed. And if it tries to boost up, no problem. So here I just send out a Selgar. I feel I can get back the Leech Seed recovery. I can get back leftovers. I can probably get back the damage from Stealth Fox. I can just kill it with Bug Buzz. And I'm right. I go for the Yawn to pressure Probopass to switch out because I want to get some more Spikes damage on it. And I decide, look, I need to pressure whatever comes in now with Leech Seed. And I Leech Seeded up. And that Zapdos is going to take out Tropius, yes. And now the only two Pokemon I have left are Sylveon and a Mega Aerodactyl that I don't think has any rock moves. So suddenly everything's becoming a bit more precarious. That Probopass is just going to survive the Hyper Voices and Shadow Ball's Hyper Voice is doing roughly the same amount of damage as Shadow Ball. I probably should have tried calculating it to see what the ranges were. Because maybe if I'd gone for Shadow Ball the second turn, maybe I would have taken it out. I don't know. But maybe. So now all he's left with is Zapdos and a Pokemon I haven't seen yet. I know Mega Aerodactyl's Ice Fang will take out Zapdos. The question is, Malamar. Now this Malamar had me worried. I thought it was going to go for Superpower Contrary shenanigans. Instead, it's a leftover set with knockoff. Now I forgot if Malamar got Sucker Punch or not, so I went for the Roost just to scout. It evidently doesn't, and I go for the Aerial Ace, and I win a game that I thought I wasn't going to win. And our final battle for the day shall be for OU, and it's a fun little team I made. I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. This is at least relatively low ladder OU on my main account. Our team is a pseudo Trick Room team based around Octillery. Octillery has a tendency to lure in Ferrothorns in low ladder OU, and then you can just Fire Blast them. Under Trick Room, though, at max health, pretty much nothing wants to take its Water Spout. It's only base 45 speed, so uninvested, it still moves around pretty well in Trick Room. Your opponent's not going to be running many things that are faster than it. That's pretty much a guarantee. Porygon 2 and Cresselia are two of my favorite setters. Zapdos, it's a good hazard remover. Clefable is a good fairy type overall. Lets me screw around with the opponent. And Mega Charizard Y lets me get in some late game sweeps after I can't use Trick Room anymore, or lets me do things early game and set the opponent up for Trick Room. Let me see if I can show you how this game works against Mr. NPHS. I lead with Zapdos, he leads with Garchomp. This Zapdos is, I probably should have mentioned, it's actually Life Orb, especially offensive. I get off Hidden Power Ice. He's probably not going to be able to do much the rest of the game with that Garchomp. And I get off a Defog. So now that Garchomp's pretty much removed from the game, I don't think I really need Zapdos anymore. Unfortunately, that Stone Edge is a crit. It's a bit annoying. I go into Cress to go for the Moonblast. I'm never entirely sure why he switched there. He may have been going for the HP fighting. So I went for the Moonblast there. I hit the Hoopa Unbound switch, which is a pretty big hit. I go into Eviolite Porygon 2. On the Metagross, I get off a special attack boost, which isn't small. And then I get up a Trick Room right as the sand wears off, which means I can get off a Thunderbolt, take out about a third of its health, because it doesn't have any recovery that's going to stick. Now my Octillery is going to come out, and Octillery is just going to say, okay, it's time to break something. It's going to go for Fire Blast. It's going to do 28%. It's going to burn, and that burn didn't matter because Water Spout's just going to take it out. I don't think it was going to live. Water Spout's not resisted. I don't think it was going to live a Water Spout in that range. Now Octillery doesn't have anything for Kyurem Black, so I'm going to switch right into Clefable. Clefable gets critted by Fusion Bolt, but I see the Life Orb, and I see I should be able to take another Fusion Bolt. And he sees that too, so he just goes into Mega Metagross, and I go for the T-Wave. I figure I'm not going to have many chances left to have crazy games with the almighty Trick Room, so I go out into Octillery, and I figure I get off a free Fire Blast, I get off a free Water Spout, I'll just go for the safe Fire Blast. For some reason, Tyranitar switches there. It was when I was sacking it off base pretty much. I think it was expecting the double into something. That said, I'm happy to just sack off Octillery to Hoopa Unbound. I don't really like Hoopa Unbound. I don't think it plays well, and I think it's just annoying to face, especially when it was first unleashed and you had to face all the teams leading with a Scarfed Hoopa Unbound. Don't Scarf Hoopa Unbound, by the way. So I'm able to just go into Charizard, Revenge Kill it with Earthquake. I'm not sure what this Tyranitar is going to do, so I'm going to go into Cresselia, eat the Stone Edge, and he's going to switch out. And at this point, I'm beginning to realize that Tyranitar is Choice Scarfed. So I'm going for the safe Moonblast. Worst comes to worst, I lose Cresselia. And I'm just going for Moonblasts. I take out the Kyurem Black. He goes back into Tyranitar. Definitely because he just wants to crunch. And I'll let him. He can go crunch me. Fine by me. I'll just send out Clefable. And Clefable will just Moonblast away. Or rather, it'll take the advantage of the switch. Softballed up. Moonblast away is probably what he was fearing. And I'll get a safe switch into Charizard. 35% damage is nothing. And I'll Earthquake. And now it doesn't matter if he takes me out because Clefable's Moonblast is probably going to take that out at 11% HP. And now all he has left is a Tyranitar. All he can hit me with is Stone Edge. And as we see, Stone Edge does less than 50%. I get off the T-Wave, just as a safety measure. And I get up a Calm Mind because I don't want to soft-boiled up this turn. Luckily, he doesn't get a crit. It could have been bad if he got on a crit. But now I get up for Soft Boil. I know the next time I go for a Moonblast, it's going to hurt. But I just want to get to a high enough HP first. Slowly, I start to realize he's running out of Stone Edges. He's going to run out of Stone Edges, and the battle's probably going to end right now on his last Stone Edge. He'll either forfeit or he'll struggle himself to death, and on turn 30 he forfeits, not wanting to do the struggle meta. I don't blame him, but here you have it. A Clefable just PP stole the Tyranitar to death. Good game. Well played. It was fun. GG. I hope to see you guys more in the future.